Good evening, folks, and welcome to the stream. Do let me know if the audio is okay. Let me know if it's too loud, too quiet, or otherwise. Let me know if the video is in time after last week's failed attempt with all of the technical glitches. I've had to reinstall Streamlabs OBS and everything else, so I'm hoping everything's okay. In fact, I'm just going to check my cameras are in time, so I'm just going to see if we get movement of fingers at the same time. Hold on, there we go. There we go. That looks like it's in time. Not synced. Okay, let's get the volume fixed. Are you hearing me first or are you seeing me first? Let's get this sorted. Let's see if it's synced with this. Hearing first. Excellent. Okay. How about now? Has that fixed it, guys? Has that fixed it? Is that in time? Tell me if it's too early or too late. We'll get there. We'll get there. Nope. Still a little off. Which are you hearing first? Are you seeing me or are you hearing me first? Because that was 1.3 seconds I did there, so that was quite a lot. Still hearing me first. Okay. Okay, we can tweak it a little bit more. Okay, try that now. How about this? Is that still... How's that looking, guys? How's that looking? This is where everyone goes quiet and doesn't tell me. Seeing me first now? Close. So I've gone too far the other way. Okay, okay, right, okay. Okay, okay, we're getting there. Third time lucky. And what about now? This should be closer. That should be a lot closer. Tell me. Once we've got this sorted, we'll do some hellos and we'll do some introductions. Pretty much on. Okay. Okay. Good. I hope everyone agrees with that. So while we're waiting for people to say that it's pretty close, just shout out to Meister Green Seppo. He was first today, so well done. Anarchy, good evening. Hoping no technical issues this week. I think we'll be all right. As I say, we just needed to tweak the audio and visual sync. I'll tweak it again just a little bit because I can see the feedback coming in. It's still not quite right. But I hope you had a great championship. Alchemist KG, KB, Mr. Satanicist himself, good evening. Titan, I am Karcher, Flexerman, Max Surfy, Render God, Clockwork, welcome all. Odin here, nice to see you again, man. Good to see you. Super Duper. I'm going to butcher this one. Esu, Slippery Pete, nice to see you, man. Oh, lots of people out. I hope I've not missed anyone. Geo as well there. Bot ping, excellent. Okay, so you're seeing me a tiny bit first. Tiny bit first. That again. Okay, so that's just a tiny adjustment. So see if this is better. How's that looking? Is that looking good? Is that looking good? Okay, seem it very close, yeah, bot ping. What's the build for today? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to unwrap and have a look at the CU80 prototype from Caps Unlocked. He sent me this yesterday, so I'm going to take a look at that first and put some cherry Katakana on there and see how it is. Once we've done that, we're actually going to then build the Borsdorf with Brown Alps and Apple AEK keycaps, which are PBT. Pretty much perfect, excellent, glad to see that. So yeah, so there's a little bit of a look at a prototype, and as I say, I haven't even looked at this myself. This is how it came out of the box. I need to unwrap it and stuff, which we'll do live in front of you guys. And then we'll have a look at the cherry Katakana, put that on the board, and then we'll be building the Borsdorf with Brown Alps, which I'm really excited for. I love a good Brown Alps board, and I think this is the first Alps build I've ever done on stream as well. So it'd be good to see that and see what you guys think. Pusher's here as well. Good evening, Pusher, one of the JO1 crew. Later on in the stream as well, once we've gone through the Caps Unlocked board, the CU80, and we've had a look at this, I will be talking about the JO2, which is my next board that's upcoming. I've also got some recent news from literally 20 minutes ago on a GMK Midnight Rainbow, which is the keycap set I've got in IC at the minute as well. So we'll talk about those once we've got through the CU80 before we do the Brown Alps build, and before we take a look at the Borsdorf. So we're going to have a look at that. Clockwork saying, will you get a Polaris prototype in the future? No, but I will be getting a Polaris because I've bought one, so I will have one on stream at the earliest opportunity. Meister Grinsepo as well with 7 months of subs. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that, dude. Really appreciate that. And Spicy Chow Mein. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Spicy Chow Mein with 2 months worth of Twitch Prime subs as well. Thank you very much, dude. Genuinely appreciate that. It's really nice to see. So thank you. Okay, so you guys have helped me within the first 5 minutes get the sound and video synced, which is really, really good. Big shout out to everyone that's here as well. Thank you very much for joining this week. And also, good evening to Tronics and Zerp as well. Thank you very much for joining, gentlemen. It's nice to see you, as always, on stream. You can always use the exclamation build command to see what we're going to be looking at today. If anyone has missed it, you can make sure you do that. Zyburst is here as well, and Janik as well. Nice to see you guys. And Loop Helios is here as well. So, full house. Lots of people showing up today. Zombie as well. Nice. Aww. Rope's here too, saying hiya. Penguin as well. How's it going? I'm alright actually, dude. I'm alright. I've got a little bit of cold, a little bit of a sore throat, a little bit bunged up and stuffy, but I'm alright. Okay, Llama Farmer as well, hello. Not synced for me, not far off, but a bit jarring. Okay, so are you guys still seeing me before you hear me, or are you hearing me before you see me? So if I clap, do you see the clap first, or do you hear the clap first? Because I do want to get it right, it is important that this is right. You're still seeing me first, okay. So let's try that. Let's try that. How's this? Because I can adjust it and keep adjusting it until we get it right. Light goes faster there. Not much to make a fuss about, am I? Well, I've tweaked it by 0.1 second. Because we bumped it from 0 seconds to 1.4 and then gradually bring it back. So you're still seeing first. Okay. Still seeing first. Let's bring it back a little bit more. Okay, let's try this again. Hopefully that's alright now. Hopefully that's okay, because if we go back one more 0.1 of a second, it's exactly where you guys told me you were seeing it first. I think this is always the hardest part of tuning capture hardware. It is, and I still had to I had to reinstall it. Okay, like 100 milliseconds. Okay. I think that's a lot. Let me go 100 milliseconds. Okay, so that was 100 milliseconds reduction. Tell me now. I'll wait for your feedback, guys, but yeah, that was 100 millisecond reduction. I suspect you're probably hearing me slightly before you see me. On point, that's good, that's better. Okay, Space CDK had it on, looks pretty much on point. We'll do one more clap. There we go. How was that? Hopefully that was in line. Yeah, I'm going to assume that that's alright. I'm going to assume it's fine. Okay, so as I said, this is the CU80, which is a 25-ish out. Judge, we're trying to tune the sound. Are you still seeing me first or hearing me first? Anarchy, yes, the Space 65 build will be returning in the future, probably next week. I think there was another question I missed as well about the E6.5 looking good with Honeywell. It looks great with Honeywell, and the red badge really sets it off. So I was really like that. One more clap, please. Okay. There you go. Let me know how you're seeing that, and stop trying to get me a clap all the time. Yeah, so the Space 65 will be next week most likely. At this point, I just want to see you clap. Yeah, one more. Very funny. I've been saying it again and again. You're all good. You're all good. I went out to get some wine. You guys are still clapping. Honeywell is cheat codes. Honeywell is cheat codes. You put Honeywell on pretty much any board and it looks good. The one thing I am really disappointed disappointed about though with Honeywell is that in all of the renders for all of the sets, when you look at them, Honeywell and Co, which was round 2, you look at the actual set of keycaps that you're going to buy, and you look at the render that's on the originative website, and it shows that you get a mod coloured ISO enter, but that isn't in the box. I've got 2 sets of it, and both sets don't have that ISO mod coloured enter key. So if anyone has got that in their Honeywell set, I will pay £20 for that one key. So just let me know. Anyway, guys, this is the CU80 from Caps Unlocked, which is a new TKL, very much aimed at the budget market. So as you can see, it looks very, very pretty, all wrapped up in its brown paper. I'm going to open this in a second, and we're going to have to take a look at the board. As I say, it's probably not as high end as some of the boards we have on the show. It is very much geared towards, you know, starter boards, people starting out to be a much lower price point, more in line with the Mass Drop Alt type series, you know, those kind of boards. So we're going to take a look at it. We'll put some keycaps on it, and then we'll try it out, see what it is. Lexaram says, "Hola, tall J." Yeah, I am not a tall man. I am 5'6", so I'm not a tall man at all. But thank you very much for that. Thank you very much to George. Subscribed for 4 months. Thank you very much. 4 big months. Thank you, dude. Okay, let's without further ado, let's open this. So I'm just going to rip this open because why the hell not? So here we go, guys. This is the CU80 from Caps Unlocked. As you can see, it has Gator on cherry red switches in there. I'll hold these up so you can see them. There you go, cherry red switches. The top piece, as you can see, so it has got a hidden seam. So the top case is the plate all in one, and you've got a seam that runs all around the edges. It has a nice triangle wedge for a rear foot that runs across 2/3 of the board, maybe. A few different mounting points. Rather than going around the edge, there are a few mounting points. A rubber foot that runs all the way along. This is in 3 pieces on this, but Caps Unlocked has promised me that it will all be one single strip for the final run as well, so that's one thing that is changing. And the CU80 by Caps Unlocked logo on the base as well. In terms of the board itself, as you can see, it does offer both ANSI and ISO layout, so you can go ANSI or otherwise if you want to. It does only offer 6.25U space though. There is no 7U space row. It's a TKL layout, but it's a traditional TKL layout, no wing keyless or anything like that on this board. Very much what you see is what you get: 6.25, 1.25, 1.25, 1.25. But in terms of compatibility, it's good. Most people can have the layout they want. These are completely stock stabilizers, so these are going to be very rattly. They've not been lubed or anything. I'm not going to lube someone else's board because I've got to send this prototype back. As you can see from the side, it is very much a low profile case. So there we go. Yeah, no step caps. It is just full caps lock, no step caps, so you can have split left shift, and you get full right shift though, so there's no option there. There's no split backspace option. You've literally got the choice of ANSI or ISO enter key and split of full shift on the left hand side, and that's it. I would prefer it if it had the Sangam bottom row. If there was a 7U bottom row, I think I prefer that. Also have a look at the Katakana set. So this is a cherry Katakana set that came from the Key.company. So very big thanks to Jason for sending me these over. These are really, really nice actually. So I've been really impressed with these keycaps. Let me show you one up close. So I got these in, and for the price, I think these are really good. The Die Sub Legends are nice and crisp. If I can get the zoom to it. The Die Sub Legends are nice and crisp and clean. The caps are quite thick. Pretty good quality. No warping on the bigger keys I could see. So I've been really impressed with the set for the price. And the compatibility that you get. If you look at this, look how crazy this is. 1 tray, 2 tray, three trays of keycaps. It's really, really good. Let's show you the mod keys. These are the reverse die sub keys. So you can see, pretty good. There is a slight bit of fuzziness around the edges that you probably can't see on the camera, but they are pretty damn good for reverse die sub keycaps. I'm pretty impressed. Show you the underside. There you go. No warping in the long keys as far as I can tell. The dye looks really good as well, so there's very little colour variation. A lot of times on reverse dye sub on the edges you get different colour variations, but that doesn't seem to be in evidence on these caps here. It's all pretty much even, so there we go. So I just wanted to show you those. We are going to be building this board ISO, or building, I say putting keycaps on it. So I'm just going to pop the keycaps in place. Come on. What we'll do if the we'll clip out. There we go. We will need the UK keycaps. I'll pop them in there. Pop this down here, and then the other two just up here, and then we'll be able to. Gosh, they're in that tray very tight. Okay, and we should be able to lay the rest of it out using just the top tray in that corner. So we'll do these first. Whoops. So that foot only runs 2/3 across the back, so if you press in the top corners, that's the first thing I noticed. There is a bit of play to the board there. It's a little bit easy to knock over. You're not going to do it in key presses, but it does wobble if you're hitting the escape key in anger. So all you gamers, beware. Looking pretty good. Yeah, they look great. Fix that as primary downside to hot swap boards. Yeah, that's pretty much true. Yeah, 125 GBP in the UK is the price. Yes, plus VAT. You do have to pay VAT on that. Those outside of the UK, no VAT is required. So you're golden on that front. I'm still waiting for my Katakana sets. Yeah, I've only got this one through so far. I would quite like the matcha set. I would quite like that. Might be something I'll try and get hold of at some point. See if Jason's got any more sets of that in, because I've been really pleasantly surprised with just how good the legends on these caps are. It's pretty damn crisp. It's pretty damn tasty. And the keycaps feel and look good. I've not typed on them yet. This will be my first time typing on them. But in terms of the look of them, I've been very impressed so far. The legend's not crooked now. The legend's pretty good. Take a look again. There we go. Get that in place nice and easily. EPBT white on black when? So there are rumours that that's happening pretty soon. So I haven't seen anything on that yet, but there are rumours that's happening. The legend is italic. Yes, the legend is italic. Yes. I really regret not joining that key set. For the price, I think this is pretty damn good. I think these were like $70 a set or something. And for the sheer volume of keys you get, unbelievable value for money. Oh, I'm getting pinged on Discord left, right and centre here. Oh, so just as you can see, just does when you're putting keycaps on there, if you hit the keys pretty hard there, it is causing a little bit of wobble in the board. You have to be very wary of that, I think. Especially if you're gaming and you're pressing hard, could have some issues. Okay. Looked like it was going upwards. No, it's just the fact that it's italics, I think, that's causing that effect on the camera. Just seeing things then, it's all good. Enemy's friend, good evening, sir. Thank you very much for joining. Janglad's here as well. Another render god in the game. Okay. Find out the split left shift. Missed that keycap. It'll be under here somewhere. There it is. There we go. Okay. This is always the longest part of any build stream, putting the keycaps on a board, so I apologise guys. But it's good to take a look at these things. It's nice to have new things on stream. And I am really excited to show you guys the Borsdorf as well. So a prototype and a Founders Edition board all in one stream. Okay. So that's that done. We'll pop this in here. And we'll pop these up as well. See, I've already learned I'm holding down this side of the board while I put the other top keycaps on. Okay. And then finally, just pop these arrow keys on, and then we'll take a look and see what we think, and give it a little sound test. Okay, there we go. Gotta say, I'm a big fan of the boxes. Much better than GMK trays. So there we go, guys. This is the CU80 with cherry Katakana keycaps on from the Key Company. The CU80 is from Caps Unlocked. This is the prototype board, all looking rather good. As you can see, pretty much all of the keys are straight on this Katakana set. Sometimes you do get PBT warping and things like that, but this is pretty damn good, and I'm very impressed with it, especially on the spacebar. If you look there, there is no warping at all on the spacebar, so very impressed with that. Okay, let's just catch up with chat. Jangler says hello. A Holland can't wait to see the Alps build. Yep, the Alps are all under here, all raring to go. Nice brown Alps, so we'll be on with that build shortly. Is this PBT Katakana? Yeah, it's the cherry PBT Katakana from the Key.company. So Jason sent that. ISO, yeah, most of my boards are ISO, but thank you very much, Lolly Knight. What board is this? This is the prototype for the CU80. That's by Caps Unlocked. You can also do exclamation mark build, and that will show you what we're doing tonight. There you go. So you'll see what we're going to be building shortly. That's the board we're going to come on to after we've had a look at this board. So there we go. I think we've caught up with chat. Let's just give this a bit of a sound test. You guys probably can't hear the music, but I'll mute it anyway. And let's see what we think to the sound. I expect this to sound a little bit hollow, very similar to the Mastrop Alt does. It's that kind of look and feel, that kind of high profile view. USB is on this side, USB-C. It does have some foam dampening inside, which I'm sure you can see. That does come as standard if I get this under the camera. There you go. Focus please. There you go, there's focus just under the USB-C cable. Oh, there we go. Some foam, not focus, some foam just under the USB-C cable. I do think that could be maybe a little bit tighter, this hole, but then it might restrict, given it's that deep set USB, it might restrict some cables being able to be plugged in, so it's probably for the best that it's like that. But let's just give it a quick sound test, see what it sounds like. Okay, so it does sound a little bit hollow, but I think that's fine for boards of this value and price type. I'd probably try and adjust the foam inside personally to make sure it was something that was more benefiting of this type of board. I think in terms of the construction for the price, it's pretty rigid, it's pretty robust. I do like the rear stepped leg. I think it should go probably a little bit further towards the edges though. It should probably sit in line with the USB blocker and then the same distance on this side and be a little bit longer. Just that tipping point here, it's not that much pressure, and I can just imagine me getting, you know, some movement like that out of the board if I'm hitting escape or whatever when gaming. So that's one thing that I would call out. Just looking at the across the board in terms of the spacing as well, I like this gap here. What I don't like is the fact that this gap here is slightly wider, so that's probably 0.75 to 0.5 U. So I'd probably just mirror that gap with this one and just bring these down just a touch so it sits a little bit nicer. I think everything else, my dog's trying to get in the office. I don't know if you can hear that, but she's banging on the door. Let me just let the dog in. Let's get Pupper on stream. Geeks, are you okay? Ellie? My dog has got herself stuck in a blanket. Give me 1 second, guys. Ellie? Can you come and help me? Why? Gigi's gone on Sam's bed and she's got stuck inside the duvet. Look. She's knotted herself up, babe.
What an idiot. Can't you do anything?
Yeah.
I'll get her, Gigi, you're such an idiot. How do you mean? Oh my god. Gigi.
Sorry about that, guys. I do apologise. The dog, my brother-in-law lives with us, and she'd gone on his bed, and she'd got in the bottom of the duvet, got between the duvet and the cover, and she'd crawled all the way in, got herself wrapped up in there, which she likes to be covered up anyway, does the dog? Oh, here she is. Here's the trouble. Come on then. Here she is. Here's the little troublemaker. There you go. And then she decided to try and get off the bed, but she'd just run straight through the duvet and then got it all tied up outside of the office door. And the thuds.
A lot of banging. I just thought it was you.
The thuds were her banging on the door, basically, trying to get. Go on and out. Go on out.
I thought it was you.
Go on out.
Come on, I'll get you a treat.
Oh, bless her. So sorry about that, guys. I do apologise. But yeah, she'd got herself all wrapped up, and then she was just flailing around outside the bedroom, locked inside the duvet. So we rescued her. So apologies, I do apologise for that. Back to the board. I think it's nice. A couple of tweaks I'd make. I would mirror this gap for that gap. I would probably look at how the foam's applied inside, and I would put the leg just a little bit longer under there, just probably out to like here, just so you don't get that rocking feeling when you're just typing in these top corners. Other than that, I think for the price it's pretty damn good. The machining on it is really good. The finish on it is really smooth actually. The anodization on this is really, really good. Very big fan of that. I like the fact that it's a seamless design. It's kind of nice all the way around the edge there. For the price, I think this is really good. It sits together well. You know, I think it's good. Hot swap as well. Can't really beat it. So yeah, for the money, I think that's all right. Flexaman, thank you very much for the 5 tier 1 subs to the Top Class community. That's a total of 10 you've given away. So Zombie, Martakia, Thornkin, Dresky, and Pitoko. Well done, guys. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. Oh, so nice of you. Thank you. But there we go, guys. If you're interested in this board, the group buy is open. It has hit MOQ. Caps Unlocked is definitely going to produce these boards. For the money, I think it's pretty good. If you want to get some into the hobby, good starter board. If you want to get someone, you know, a gift or something like that, or if you want something to travel with or want something for work, it's quite light. It's not a heavy board. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so that's the Katakana set and the CU80. Just going to pop them down there. Give me 1 second. Okay, so now we've done that, we are going to move on to the main build for the show today, which is going to be the Brown Alps AEK Borsdorf, which was designed by Darth WTF. I think he's in chat. Pretty sure I saw him earlier on. Accidentally puts it into trash. No, it's on a box down at the side. It's on the top of the Katakana box. There he is, Darth what's his face, there he is. He's here in stream, so we are going to be building his board. I actually have 2 of these, so we're going to look at these in just 1 second. As I said before, we will be building it with Brown Alps, so these are vintage Alps. These have been lubed with PTFE powder on the stem, and they've also got Krytox 104 on the spring, but other than that they're completely stock. These were taken from an IBM 5140 board. I've got 3 or 4 of those, desoldered them. We'll be using a standard Alps lock switch on the caps lock. So as you can see, this is a locking switch, which is pretty good fun. So we'll be using that on caps lock. And as you can see, these are all rather nice switches. So these are taken from another board. As I say, they've been lubed, cleaned, all detailed up. and then we're going to be using the original AEK keycaps. So I'll show you some of these legends. These are PBT and taken from an AEK 2 so the Apple Extended Keyboard 2. PBT dice-up keycaps. They're in pretty damn good condition. There's no yellowing on all of the alphas and modifiers. The only key that's got any slightly yellowing on it, you can see just here the slight difference, is the spacebar. It's a tiny bit different, but that is because the spacebar is ABS, whereas the rest of the keycaps are PBT. So one ABS keycap and the rest PBT. So there we go. So that's the keycaps and switches we're going to be building with. Time to put some music back on, actually. I just realised I'll turn that off. There we go. Let's catch up with chat before we show the board off. Fleximan, cheers, says the zombie. There you go. Acidic Pure, hey you gorgeous people. No, hey you gorgeous person. Darth What's His Face says hello. There you go. Twitch said Darth WTF was an offensive name, so this will have to do. Yeah, that's close enough. Gondolindrim as well. Hey, hey, hey. Good evening, good sir. Glad to see you in chat. I hope you're doing well, man. So yeah, Guns of Icarus, I think. Guns of Icarus. Interesting. Nice. That's a good name. So in terms of the board, we'll take a look at it in a second. We are going to be using the Cyclops PCB. So this was designed by West Foxtrot, or Amth, of Cable Car Designs, also known as Max. A very good friend of mine and Darth's. One of the nicest people in the community right now. He designed this board basically for a number of different opportunities. So you could put the USB on either side. You could put this in a in the Borsdorf, which is what it was designed for ultimately, or you could put it into things like the Clue board. The KBD 661 also supports this, depending on where you put the USB and everything else. So this is the PCB that we're going to be using. As you can see, it's all looking rather good from that perspective. All rather nice and tidy. Some wonderful work on there. Cyclops logo all across the front, looking really rather nice. In terms of the board, this is the Borsdorf. The Apple logo isn't stuck on yet, it is just resting there. I did try and stick it on. Oh, maybe no, yeah, it's going to come off. There we go. So that will be stuck on there permanently later on. It was stolen from the AEK as well. I'm just going to put it on the desk there. So that logo will stay there and it will be glued on later on after the stream. But this is the board. We're going to be using a carbon fibre plate. I've already put the spacebar Alps in because it's a little bit heavier, is that one, on terms of the spring, and also the guide rails and the stabilizer for the spacebar. That's just because Alps spacebars and stabilizer are a little bit different. They connect very much to the plate and not to the PCB. I'm not going to be using stabilizers on any of the other keys because I hate Alps stabilizers, and really the Alps keys don't really need them because of the way they're mounted. Looking at some of the other features of the board, this is a Cerakoted finish. You can see here that it's got this lovely sweeping curved profile all down here. So there we go, that looks absolutely really nice. Here's the base with the logo on the bottom. The Founders Edition, I think that's laser etched in, is the Founders Edition text. Darth disagreeing with me about Alp stabs. I just personally dislike them, but you know, it's all personal preference at the end of the day. I've already put the bump-ons and things on this board and the other one as well. So there you go. All looks really rather nice and tidy. Just looking at the back of the board, USB slot just to this side. Just want to call out, this is really nicely done. So it is a USB mini, so you can see that it's in the shape of the USB mini, the right orientation, but in the outside block is, you know, perfect rectangle, designed so you can slip the you know, properly corded keys in there, and corded cables in there and everything else. So if it's got the standardized connector, it's going to sit in just nicely as well. So there we go. Just in terms of the Apple sticker, sorry, phase shifter, that actually came from the Apple AEK keyboard that I got the keycaps from. So this is the keyboard where I took the keycaps from. As you can see, it's a really clean example of an AEK as it is, but the logo was just up here, so I just literally popped that out, and that's now ready to go on the board with just a little bit of glue just there. So yeah. So as I say, this is the board we're going to be building. We'll take it apart and we'll have a look inside it shortly. This is one of the plate files. As you can see, this is what the plates look like underneath all of the different areas. So it has got cuts out inside here just for noise and simplicity. The cuts here at the side of the Alps stabilizers are for consistency as well, so it's all good from that perspective. And you can mount the spacebar whichever way round you like as well, so you can actually have the cord going out either side. So there we go. So that's what the plate looks like. I do have another of these boards, as I said. This is the second one. Almost identical. The only difference is I've got a steel plate for this one, but I'm probably going to use carbon fibre in both, even though the steel does look really nice. And there you go. This is also a Founders Edition board too. So all looking really rather nice. But look at that side profile. How nice is that curve? Just how nice is that curve? Just swoosh. One of the nicest features on any board I've ever seen. So yeah, hope you guys like that. There we go. Let's catch up with chat, see what's going on there. Text is lasered, yes. Yeah, thought it was be. Ansi Borsdorf would be sexy. Maybe. People who use stabs. Very funny, so say about. Too small for Jay's fingers. Everything's too small for my fingers. I need to find one after again, so I just wrote my last one. I've actually bought some more logos for the other one because I've only got one of these rainbow ones, which is going to go on the Brown Alps build. I'm going to build the other one in a few weeks' time with Salmon Alps, but for that one I'm going to have a silver Apple logo that I'm having custom made. If that works out really, really well, Phase Shifter, I will hit you up, or if you PM me in a couple of weeks, I'll share that with you and show you what likes. I'll be ordering a handful. I think I have to order 5 anyway, so you know you can have it full cost. I'm happy to ship you on for cost. Darth saying probably won't happen for 3 reasons. You need an additional 2.25U shift. Sorry, this is for ANSI version. Yeah, it is much harder to do an ANSI version. Yeah, an ANSI version. Yeah. The black is really nice too. It's actually a really deep space grey, but it's kind of like a rough texture. But it's nice. It's it's nicely rough. It's nicely tactile. It feels solid. It feels chunky. It's really nice. I'm really impressed with it. Want to trade, Jay? What have you got, Lex, that I might want? Jay just flexing as per usual. Well, someone's got to. Could you not theoretically just get a custom ANSI plate and make your own PCB hand wire? The problem is so on the ANSI version, the keycaps all down this left side are, well, we start with the escape key. It's a 1U escape key, whereas on this particular board you have to use a 1.25U key. Basically, Apple's way of solving using the skinny ISO enter was to move the whole thing 0.25 over, so the whole stagger starts 0.25U further this way than it does that way, which you'd have to undo for the ANSI one. So you would need a fully custom plate and PCB, and then you might struggle to get it to fit anyway. So yeah, so you could do it, but it means that you'd need a little bit to work with. Clockwork saying there's a mismatch. I'm not sure what on. Oh, yours is uncoated. Fine. Yeah, nice. That's that. Gabson committed AEK profile artisans and has done so in the past. Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that. I might reach out to Gab and ask him to make me some keycaps then, because I would like to use some on this board. Okay, so we're going to take this apart now, guys, and then we'll crack on with the build. Just move that over to one side. And let me just find the right size bit. I'm gonna guess it's this one. There we go. So 6 screws holding this together, nice and simple. Nothing too complex in that. I think there's slightly different lengths if I remember rightly from when I took it apart before. Yeah, so longer ones at the back, shorter ones at the front. Clockwork, Jay says ANSI like ANSI. No, I don't. I'm not. So this is a thing. I'm completely layout ambivalent. I have no countenance on people picking or choosing any layout. I personally prefer one, but that doesn't mean to say I think ANSI or ANSI is a bad layout. you know, it's entirely up to people what they want to use, and if someone likes the layout that they use, well then I'm really happy, and that's all it takes. Stormlight has an escape from Gab. Nice, good to hear it. If there's ever round 2 of Borsdorf, I'd definitely be interested. Is the top and the bottom of the case mismatched? No, it's just the light. It's the slightly off angle from each other, so it's just the light. But no, there's no colour difference, as you can probably see there. It's pretty close. There you go. There's no colour difference. If anything, it's just the light difference between the 2 angles. But there you go. That's the base. As you can see, it's a nice solid block, matte finish on the inside. Nothing too shiny. It's really, really nice. Founders Edition logo on the base. It is pretty hefty. Nice little marks inside. I think these were designed retrospectively for hook marks to hold it up for anodizing, I think, on Cerakoting. It is a dust magnet, though. I will say that. I will say it's a dust magnet. Okay, we just held on to top mount plate. So this is held on in 8 locations across the board. Again, slightly different screw size. Now there was also some washers provided for this. I did put them underneath the plate when I put it in. I'm probably not going to put them in for the build because it is very fiddly to do on stream. So probably not do that on stream. Okay. I was just joking about the how I say ANSI. That's fine. You know, that's fine. And carbon fiber plates are really good. Actually, on my projects Discord, I'm actually running a carbon fiber plate group buy with Satanicist at the minute. So Alchemist KB in chat is Satanicist, and as I say, we're running a plate group buy. So if there's any plates that you want in carbon fiber, prices start at $30 per plate, which is pretty cheap. And they'll be shipping in about 6 to 8 weeks. So the group buy is open for another 2 weeks. Once the group buy concludes, then the boards will ship. Sorry, the PCBs will ship, 6 to 8 weeks after that. Just want to call out, you can probably see that I've got the little washers in there. If I'm careful with this, we might not have to remove them. But you can see there's also a little lip all the way around, which is where the plate sits, which is quite nice. So yeah, it's a very nicely designed board. Just in terms of this blocker section here, it is actually, I don't want to tip this up too much and lose these washers, but it is actually curved in terms of the thickness on the outside of the board, and on the inside it's just flush, so it keeps it nice and flat against the plate. So there we go. Satanicist, if you are there, Alchemist KB, if you can paste the link into here for my projects Discord, if anyone is interested in joining for a plate made from carbon fiber, and just look how nice these plates are as well. This is the same factory. This came just the other day. Prices start from $30. Most it'll go to is about $45. We can provide most plate files or just plate files if you've already got them, or you can provide anything on your own that you'd like. Options of 1.5mm, 1.2. Standard is 1.5, so if you do want 1.2, just say so when you're filling out the form. But yeah, there we go. $30 per plate, pretty cheap. And it's a nice material as well. Really nice material. Have I talked about the J02 yet? No, not yet. So the J02 is my next board. It's the sequel to the J01, which is actually just here. If I can lift it without knocking everything over. So this is the J01. So the J02 is coming. The prototype's almost with me. It's just about to ship. Well, in fact, it has shipped. It's just about to be delivered, sorry. And this is a 60% board on the J02. So if you imagine cutting the board off here and cutting the board off there, and imagine just a straight 60, but the same design aesthetics, it's still going to have the removable brass pen rail, as you can see. That is removable, just held in by magnets. And it'll have the same brass middle, and it'll have the same side profile as well. So where you can see this base here, it will have exactly the same base. I have all the same accoutrements, the same central USB-C, and the same logo on the bottom as well. So the J02 is almost with us. As I say, it has shipped. and it was out for delivery yesterday and it didn't get delivered for some reason, but it will be out for delivery hopefully on Monday. Once it does get delivered, I'll be putting up an interest check, and that will have some pictures of the prototype. I'll have some renders on there with some different keycap sets. I'll have a bit of an exploded view so you can see how the board works. It works full isolation gasket mount, the same as the J01 does. It will also have a carbon fibre plate, custom PCB and daughter board, and as I say, the interest check will be open. I do intend to run the group buy through a vendor. I haven't decided which one yet. A couple of vendors have shown interest, so we just need to work out the logistics of how that's going to be. When we do get the prototype in, there'll be a build stream a couple of weeks afterwards. So the interest check will open, there'll be a build stream, and then a few weeks later the group buy will open as well. So hoping to do the group buy this year, possibly late October, be open for a couple of weeks, but there will be a limited number of units available. Prices is going to be, don't know yet. I need to work on the prices. There will be different tops available for it. So the prototype that I'm going to build will have a straight 60 top, but there will be one other top, either wing keyless or HHKB, depending on which people want most of. My preference is wing keyless, so if it's pretty much even between wing keyless and HHKB, it may be that I just don't offer a straight 60 one, and it will be wing keyless or HHKB tops, even though the prototype is going to be a straight 60. So there we go. Just catching up in chat, see what you guys are talking about. We're doing a double build stream today. No, we're just doing one board stream today. Please do USB port will be for notes explicit design with the washers in mind. Oh right, okay. So he wants me to use the washers. Yeah, okay, cool. I usually drop them in on the bit and then just put them in the thread. Yeah, okay, cool. That's fine. So do they need to be underneath the plate or above the plate? Shouldn't really matter. They'll need to be against the case, yeah. Okay. So I think we're all good there. So that's the J02. We've talked about carbon fibre plates in the group buy that's running. I really want to do my own Alps build one of these days. Yeah, I love doing Alps builds, Amir, so I'm really happy to be doing this one. As I say, we are going to put the rest of the switches in, and then we'll do some soldering. LBI Base saying, who designed it? Was it Teslatron again? So this is the common misconception with the J01, right? Teslatron just did the CAD work. I literally mapped out in dozens of drawings, isometric and 3D drawings, exactly what I wanted from the J01, all of the different specifications and everything else. Teslatron just drew it in CAD and made my drawing a reality. That's what happened there. And he was paid for adequately for his work. It wasn't his design or anything like that. That's where it came from. In terms of the J02, so the J02 has not had Teslatron's involvement at all. He hasn't even seen the files or looked at them. Again, it was all my design, and Alchemist, who's in chat, was the guy that came up with all of the CAD files. So it's my design. I just can't CAD. So take that as you will. If that means to you that I'm not a designer, I'm not one for distinctions, and I couldn't care less how people badge it. But it is my design, it's my idea, and then, as I say, for this one, Alchemist KB has done all of the CAD work, including some rendering as well. So he's been a huge help, and ultimately he'll be getting a prototype out of it. So, it's just one of those things. Let's just see what's going on in chat. Is that the new MX Master? It's an MX Master 2, not the 3. I am tempted to pick the 3 up. I haven't decided yet. SKB65, yes, so I got the plate through. The SKB65 is now all sat in a box. Don't know if I'm keeping it, don't know if I'm selling it. I'm not sure what to do just yet. I do want to buy another board, and I kind of need to sell some stuff to buy it, so if anyone is interested in a couple of boards that I've got for sale, so a white TX65, or I've got a Royal 66 board as well, which is quite rare. There's only 10 of them, so I'm going to be selling both of those, maybe the SKB65. So if anyone's interested, please let me know. Shilling over. Ramai, thank you very much for the 2-month streak. Just here to give my sub. Have fun, baby. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your sub. LBMS. Okay, cool. I think we're on the same page. Thank you very much for that. Apologies if your audio is dead. It looks okay from my end. How can I make a plate file out of a plate I already have on hand? You'd have to scan it and then use measuring tools, some calipers to work out all your spacings and everything else, and then you'd have to redraw it in CAD. Depending on what it is, if you ask around, people might already have that for you. So there we go. got to get that 1000 GBP together for the Kepler. No, I've got the forged carbon 65 Kepler coming. That's already sorted. So it's not that. It's actually a different board. But I just need to sell one board. It doesn't matter which board it is. I just need to sell one board so I can afford it. Either that or Brian needs to pay me this month for my TC contributions. So we'll see where we get to. But yeah, as I say, that's where we're up to. Anyway, I think we've caught pretty much up with chat and spent a while talking. Oh, the other news as well: Midnight Rainbow. So GMK Midnight Rainbow. Some of you hate it, some of you love it. Whatever. You know, I'm not here to push it on you or anything like that. But the latest news from that one is I'm reworking the kits, and there is now going to be an artisan. So stream secret special that only you guys know and isn't anywhere else, but Johan from Alpha Keycaps is going to be doing a Midnight Rainbow Kipora for the set. As you can tell, I'm a fan of Kiporas. I have lots of Kiporas. I have some more Kiporas, I think. No, not on that one. But I do have more Kiporas somewhere else. I don't know where they've gone. Oh well, there must be in a box somewhere. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Kiporas, and Johan has been kind enough to offer to do a Rainbow Kipora as well, Midnight Rainbow Kipora. So there we go. Really excited to see that. Jump saying Brown Alps versus Orange Alps. Brown Alps for me. Browns and Salmons are my two favourite Alps switches. So that's why one of these is getting Brown Alps and one of them's getting Salmons. Nice and simple. Blue Alps. Yeah, Monterey Blues are alright. I don't like actual Blue Alps. Monterey's aren't bad, but they're quite cheap. And they're a clone, they're not a real Alp switch. I don't mind paper modded linears. Some of them are alright. Yeah, but Brown Alps are where it's at for me. Any recommendation where I can find 1.5U GMK artisans? With great difficulty. Depends on what type of artisan you want, and it depends on what row profile you want. If you just want a resin keycap, people like Glove Caps, I'm not sure if Glove's watching, but if you are, love you, man. But they will custom make molds and things for certain keycaps, and they'll be able to do you random colorways. Yeah, the Board podcast, they have a sponsor. I can't remember their name. I've lost it, but they make keycaps as well. If you go listen to the Board right at the very beginning, it's sponsored by someone who makes keycaps. I can't remember what their name is. Lost it. Oh well. Anyway, there we go. It's time to start getting rid of solar anyway. So I don't want to hold up the stream too long answering loads and loads of questions. But if you have got any, please do ask them, and I'll try and answer them quickly. So in terms of the rest of the build, what we're going to do is we're going to put the switches in the plate, and then we're going to lay the plate on top, and we're going to press it all together, make sure it all fits nice and easily. We're going to flip it over, and then we're going to solder. As I said before, we can put the stabilizers in last on this particular build, purely because we're only putting one stabilizer in here, so you can put them in afterwards because they are plate mount. But I've already got that all sorted. That's all ready and good to go, and a stronger switch is in place for the spacebar as well. So we're going to start putting these in, making sure that we observe the orientation, because some of these switches are flicked the other way around. So we'll just take notice of that. That one goes that way, and then we should be okay with the rest. I think that's the only one that's flipped in its orientation. Just double check. Yeah, so it looks like everything else is in the correct orientation. So it's just that one on the PCB. Okay. What about genuine Blue Alps? No, happy to answer your questions. That's the Blue Alps. I'm just not a fan of Blue Alps. I think if I was going to pick any Blue Alp, it'd be a Monterey Blue, but I know they're a little bit different. But yeah, I don't like Green Alps really either. I do like Cream Alps. I'd say paper modded Cream Alps are nice. But if I'm going Alps, it's usually browns. That's where my heart really is. Oh, can you guys hear the radio in the background? Let me turn it up a little bit. There you go. So just gonna push all these into the plate, observing the orientation, making sure we've got these the right way around. Let's catch up with chat. Blue Alps need to be in the right chassis to sound good. They do not do well in CNC. They need volume to resonate properly. Perhaps that's why I don't like the Manakey. Perhaps that's why I'm not being a big fan. Perhaps I should do an SKB Blue Alps build. Maybe that's what I should do, because that case has got lots of room for sound to percolate and manoeuvre inside it. Perhaps that's what I need to do. Or maybe a Blue Alps CA66, although I'll probably struggle for keycaps for both of them. Although I could just buy Heine's new group buy for white on black Alps keycaps DCS. How does one find brown Alps? Great difficulty and a lot of patience. I'm here loving the lo-fi. Yeah, it is good. It's just nice and relaxing, and it's easy listening, and it makes these streams just a lot easier to do. Muridin is here as well, saying hello. Hello, good evening to you. Welcome to the show. Boop beep bep. If you don't like click that much, Blue Alps don't really make sense either. Do you know actually what Alps I do like that do click? And there are clones, I'll give them that. But I like APC clickies, green APC clickies. I actually have a board with them, completely stock, unlubed, unmodified in any way, shape or form, just 60%, in a wooden case, which sounds terrible, but those APC greens are 480 gram bottom out switches. They're originally designed for the stop start buttons in heavy machinery, and I have them in a whole board, and that is quite possibly the most awkward board to use for any real typing I've ever experienced. It is obscenely difficult to use, and it's not particularly fun either, but it's great to get a laugh out of people trying it for the first time. It's good to take to meetups. Luna is a good chassis for clicky Alps, apparently. I've only tried the Luna once, and I wasn't massively impressed with it. I think this is by far the nicest Alps specific board that I've come across. I know next to nothing about Alps. Can you explain why they're all about and the difference between the colours? I'm not the best person to do that, but basically browns and salmons are the two nicer tactiles in Alps, and they're probably nicer than any MX tactile in my personal opinion. I'm very much a fan of brown Alps and their tactility and the feeling, and I've got a couple of hundred of these switches, so I do have more brown Alps builds planned, and I've also got some new old stock salmons for the other Borsdorf that I'll be building in a few weeks' time as well. That was a little bit tight. Frozen picture, no sound. I've not dropped any frames or anything, so it must be Twitch's end. Let me just have a look, make sure everything's okay on the dashboard. Yeah, 6,000 kbps. Well, 5919, but 6,000. Steady as rock. Not dropped any frames in however long I've been streaming, an hour. Yeah. So there we go. All looking good. Brown Alps, you're looking at $5 switch, up to 10 depending on how used they are. Yeah, these ones were pretty much new, but I got them in a board. As you can see, they're pretty good condition. There you go, nice and clean. I've had quite a few 5140s with them in. Check orientation for the ISO key. Just spent time desoldering them, looking after them, and lubing them with PTFE powder, which I tend to find works better for Alps, and then they've got the stock springs in, but just lubed with Krytox 104 of these particular ones. Tactiles sound like shit. It depends on, you know, your own thoughts, dude. You know, different people like different things. If we all like the same thing, the world would be a terrible, terrible place. So there's nothing wrong with people liking things you don't, and there's nothing wrong with you liking things that other people don't. And there's nothing wrong with us all liking the same thing either. So there we go. The clever thing about Alps is that they've separated tactility and actuation to two different parts. Yes, absolutely, yeah. This one's a bit tighter, there we go. Make sure it's all nicely in place. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the Luna integrated plate? I thought it was. Yes, it is, yeah. one leaf for contact and one for tactility and click. Yes. So Alps have like 3 compartments inside them, one for the stem, and then on either side of that you can put a different actuation leaf, and you can either have a linear paper mod and one in the other side, or you can have a tactile kind of like a tactile mechanism, or otherwise on the board depending on what you're searching for. I've just realised that I've put the caps lock key in here, and I've got a specific key for the caps lock key, so I'm going to take that out because I do have somewhere, not sure what I've done with it now, but I did have somewhere earlier on. I had the key. There it is. There it is. We found it. We found it, guys. Panic's over. The lock switch. There we go. If Clueboard ever gets his shit together, yes. So this PCB will work in a Clueboard as well, as far as I'm aware. I'm pretty sure Max designed it to be compatible with the Clueboard as well, which is why that's there. Perhaps it needs a slight tweak on this other side for one, I think, maybe. But I'm pretty sure he was designed to work with the Clueboard. But I know you're talking, LBOS, about the board you were designing with Scully. Okay. Almost there now, guys, with putting these switches in. Clipping nicely into the plate. All looking really rather tasty and good. And then what we'll do is we'll flip this over, we'll align the plate onto it, we'll get the soldering iron ready, we'll tack in a couple of switches in the centre and a couple of switches on the edges. We'll probably do the corners and a couple in the middle, and then we will go through step by step and complete the build. And then I'm really looking forward to getting this all screwed together nicely. So Darth, I'm hoping you're still watching, Darth. Just confirm for me where I need to use the washers, because I've got them on to the case itself, and then I'm going to put the plate against the washers, and then I'm going to put the screws in from there. So tell me if that needs to change. So they're in this position currently, Darth. So they're there already in place between the case and the plate. Perfect. That's all I needed to know. Excellent. Okay, so that's all of the switches into the plate. We've already got the stabilizer here as well. Alps stabilizer fitment is a pain when it comes to the keycap, so I'm really not looking forward to putting that keycap on, but we will get there in due course. Just going to align everything up, making sure it all fits together nicely. So I'm just going across the board, pushing everything together where needed, making sure it all sits in there perfectly. There we go. It's all looking nice. So now we've done that, I'm just going to apply a little bit of pressure when we solder. I put the space bar on before you screw it in, declip it on the left, push the plunger through. I haven't heard anything from Max in maybe 4 or 5 weeks. The last I heard is he was travelling off to the Far East, Japan. I haven't heard anything from him since, so yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to solder a couple of switches in the middle. I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure against the PCB. Just make sure that's nice and flush. Okay, just do one more here as well. Okay, and then we're going to go into the corners and do the same again. Just making sure that everything is nice and flush when we're doing this, so we don't get any twists or bumps in the PCB or the plate. Okay, come down to this corner. And then do that final corner up here. Oh, I've got enough solder on this one. There we go. Okay, so that's all tacked together. We're just going to check and make sure alignment's okay. So everything's looking okay from that angle. Everything's looking okay from there. Across the base is looking good as well. Everything's nice and flat and flush. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to go row by row, soldering the switches one by one, and then we'll see what we get to. Max is alive and well. He's just doing a bit of keyboard sabbatical at the minute. Got some things going on. Yeah, Cypher is still well underway if anyone starts screaming. I'll actually be rebuilding my Cypher soon. I've actually finally got a POM plate for it, which I'm excited to put in. So I'll be rebuilding that on stream in a couple of weeks' time. In terms of upcoming streams, 2 of them are actually going to be Max's board because I've got the ANSI to rebuild. That's currently got a black brass plate in it with Fey green matcha switches. And I'm going to be rebuilding the brass plate with inks. Possibly silent ones, still to be determined. Okay. In terms of other build streams I've got coming, I've got the Dora 67 finally. The Space 65 will be next week. There'll be the other Borsdorf as well, which will have salmon Alps put into it. I'm hoping this new board that I'm trying to buy, if someone buys my white TX65 or my copper TX60 HHKB or you know, my Royal 66 in blue, you know, if anyone wants to buy one of those, you'll help me buy another board. We then got the JNC coming. What else have we got coming? Well, quite a few boards coming, I think. Luminous soon, apparently, as well. I keep hearing that's getting ever closer from Teslatron's updates. Gen C, yeah. Is Royal 66 crazy expensive? Depends on what you call crazy expensive, man. Depends on what you call crazy expensive. There's only 10 of them, if that helps. Okay. Just not available. Yeah, it wasn't crazy expensive to buy as such. All in with the plate PCBs, and I've had it re-cerakoted as well because the finish wasn't the best. So that all factors into the cost, customs and everything else. I think, I don't know, somewhere just south of £400, I think. But it is a very nice board. It's actually, the shell's actually sat just at the side of me as well at the minute, the case. Okay, so making good progress with the soldering here, folks. PCBs like this are just so easy to solder. You know, well-designed PCB does make this job a lot easier. You know, it's very much appreciated when designers think about how they're going to lay things out to make them easier for people doing the actual work on them. About halfway through the board now, guys, and then we'll get on to putting the case together, and then from there we'll finish up putting the keycaps on the board. Sorry, that was my alarm from my garage. Just want to make sure everything's alright. Okay, no, it's not. My kitchen is offline apparently. Apocalypse has got to go and get ready for work. Take care. Thank you very much for that, dude. I appreciate that. Can you remember off the top of your head when I built it? It was actually under my old channel. It wasn't on TC. It was on my old J Keebs channel. So it's probably about a year ago now, I'd guess. Maybe September, October time last year. Something like that. Could have been a little bit earlier. Okay, almost here with the middle row, home row. Okay, and we're going to come back along here. And then we've just got the spacebar row to do as well, which we'll do in parallel. Okay, and we're going to come back along here. And then we've just got the spacebar row to do as well, which we'll do in parallel. Okay, and then we've just got the spacebar row to do as well, which we'll do in parallel. way across the last 2 rows all at the same time. Okay. Making really good progress here, guys. Soldering is nearly done. Got a huge number of keys left to go. And of course, once the soldering is done, we can then start to put the board together, make sure everything looks okay, make sure everything's aligned okay, and then we can put some keycaps on. We'll give the board a quick test as well. Alps can be slightly finicky when it comes to working when you take them from one board to another, so we'll double check and test them. Okay. Almost there now, guys. We'll test the PCB in a second as well. And there we go. That's the board now put together. 19th of the 10th, 18. Yeah, I thought it was a while back. I hope none of my salmon Alps break because I don't have any spares. Ouch. Yeah, that can be tough. My phone is going nuts. Getting pings left, right and centre. Okay, so I'm just going to plug the board in. And there you go, you can hear it setting up. Let me grab a switch hitter up for you guys so you can see as I test it. So that should be visible on your screen, guys, now. So let's go through the board and see what we get. Right, escape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Backspace. Page up and page down. Tab. All looking good there. Caps not looking good as well. Hope if I get that right. All good on that row. Shift, yeah, everything looking good here. We've got Control, Win, Alt. We've got Spacebar. We've got Alt, Control. So all working well there as well. It does look like there's no FN key, so I'll probably need to adjust that and make this key FN at some point. Again, it is Q&K compatible, which makes it a doddle to change. And there we go, we can see it's fully working. That's all excellent. That means we can now turn off the soldering iron. We don't need to use it anymore. I can move that to one side as well. Okay. Lude Helios bought a cipher the other day from Sendrim. Nice, man, nice. Yeah, I think it was about $330 plus shipping when I got the Royal 66, I think. Maybe a little bit different price-wise, I can't quite recall. Okay, so we're just going to lay this in place now gently, hoping that we keep all of the grommets in place. There we go. Get our screwdriver back. I'm just going to screw this down. I'm going to go diametrically opposed. So I've got to say, for a first board from Dorf, this is absolutely stunningly built. It's stunningly designed. Really happy with it. I think Salvan did all of the work on these boards as well. So big shout out to Salvan, big shout out to Dorf. Thank you very much, dude, for the opportunity for letting me join your group buy. It was a pleasurable group buy, lots of updates, which is always really good. It's nothing worse than not knowing what's going on, and Dorf is exceptional at keeping people updated and letting people know what's what. ISO returns says there we go. Sweet board, Sendrim cipher, yeah. Okay. So that's the PCB and plate all screwed together. Now we're going to place the case on the bottom part. And then we're going to put a screw in this top corner. We're going to tighten it so it's finger tight. And then we're going to come and do one diametrically opposed in the bottom left hand corner. So we're just not going over the top, we're just going tight enough so that we can still move this side around and get it all nicely aligned. And then what I'm going to do here is to do this, I'm just going to feel and make sure it's flush on both sides as I'm screwing it down. And then we'll come back over here, make sure that's all still nice and flush, tighten that one up, and we can go ahead and finish off the rest of the board. If ever in a group buy, I will delay giving updates by 1 day every time someone asks for them. That's a terrible way to do it. It's a terrible way to do it. You should always be, as a group buy runner, your customers and your profit and everything else is all based off the people that are trusting you with their money. If they are going to trust you, you should absolutely be able to give them an update whenever they ask. Or you should be able to give updates often enough that people don't need to ask. So for the JR1 group buy, I'd like to think that I handled that quite well, gave people updates, you know, every Friday without fail, if not before, to try and make sure it was really clear where we were up to. So there we go, guys, that's the Brown Alps build. Ooh, in fact, we've got switch hits still up. Let me just get rid of that. There we go. So this is the Brown Alps build on the carbon fibre plate with the Cyclops PCB in the AEK Borsdorf case. With that lovely curved profile there. You can see just how much it hides the switches towards the top compared to the ones at the front. Looking really, really nice. Absolutely stunning board. Really, really happy with this. Oh, you did say to do this before putting the case together. Yeah, I didn't listen. Trust me. So, Alps are not my favourite thing to pull together, just because they're a pain in the ass. Yeah, that's not one. We might have to take it apart to do that, guys, so we'll come back to the spacebar right at the very end. Yeah, it's not looking good. So as I say, that's the only one we're going to use a stabiliser on. The rest of the keys I don't feel need a stabiliser. There is no shift key that fits this board, so we use the 0 from the from the numpad. Or maybe actually that does fit. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't need to use that. Maybe we can use that key. Okay, let's lay these out and let's get the keycaps on the board. The enter key, as you can see, it is a skinny ISO enter key, and you'll see now what I meant about the keys all being shifted across the board. Yeah, this board will probably make it to the lead meetup if I'm honest. I don't see why it wouldn't. You'll be pleased to know, Daniel. Okay. If I do a group buy, I'll run it Ivan style. Yeah, please don't ever do that, dude. That is not a good idea. And that would be a terrible idea for the community. Oh, interesting, interesting. That switch isn't fully closed, so I'm just going to take this keycap off. Yeah, wire keycap puller. So this switch doesn't look like it's fully closed. Yeah. So I'm going to have to come back to the number 4 key because that's not fully closed, isn't that one? Okay, we may have to come back to that switch later on, so I'm going to leave that to one side. But the clamps that go around the side of the switch to hold it together have slipped off for whatever reason. But it should be an easy fix. Do ERT. There we go. YU. Making some good progress there, guys. I know this is always a boring part of the stream when we're putting keycaps on as well as soldering. What I do with my Alps is just dab a super lube grease on the plate clip inside. Yeah, so I've already lubed these ones. In fact, when we come to fix the stabilizer key, by taking the board apart and putting the key back on, you'll see that that's exactly how I do it as well. Okay, making some good progress now, guys. UIO. There we go. And we'll fix that 4 key as well at the same time. Oh, I see what I've done. I see what I've done. I knew that key wasn't right. There we go. That's right. There we go. Okay. How brightly that goes there as well, I can't recall. Does that not feel right? Perhaps that's the wrong way around. In fact, it is. There we go. There we go. There we go, guys. So that's the board built apart from the 4 key. So I'm going to take this apart and fix the 4 and also fix the spacebar as well because that's not quite right as well. So give me one moment, we'll get there. Talisman Solutions, thank you very much for calling out my preferred tightening order. Yes, diametrically opposed, counter diagonally, all of those good things. I love putting Alps keycaps on. Yeah, they do work well. I do like Alps keycaps. They're a pain to take off though, I'll be honest. And I hate putting on the stabilised keys, which is why I try not to use the stabilisers in part as well. But also the Alps keys are very much don't need stabilisers on anything up to 2 in my head. They feel much nicer without. Pop that there. Pop that there. Okay. Apologies for this, folks, but we're almost there. We'll just fix the space bar and the 4 key, and then once that's done, then we can tidy up the rest of the build, and then we'll be all good. Apart from the fact that I dropped a screw on the floor. I do have a spare just over here, so I'm going to grab the spare, I think, and then grab the one on the floor later on, so you guys don't have to see me crawling around on stream. There we go. Talisman Solutions gifted a tier 1 sub to Dorf. Thank you very much, dude. 194 gift subs. That's almost 200. Almost 200 gift subs. My word. Okay, guys. So I just wanted to show you here. Can you see here that this is lifted slightly? Just here, that flap just there is stopping this switch closing completely. If you look at it from this perspective, you can see that it's slightly different to all of the other ones. It's stepped away. It's just where the switch isn't closed properly, and I missed that a few minutes ago when putting the board together. I'm just going to try and fix that in situ. I'm not quite sure how. I'll try and push. We may have to take the switch out actually. I think we're just going to have to desolder this switch really quickly and then fix it and put it back. Luckily I have my desoldering gun at the side of me when it stops making a racket. There we go. Apologies for making a racket, guys. This is my old one. If you beat it in often enough, it does stop doing it. So I hope this is entertaining for you guys. Again, one of those things that you sometimes hit in terms of problems with builds, but we'll get this switch taken care of and get it all clipped back together, and then I'll pop it back in the board, resolder it, and we'll be good to go. Just we're waiting for that to warm up. We're just going to fix this stabilized key. There we go. So you can see now, guys, that the key is fully stabilized. Previously this side wasn't clipped in properly, but you can see that's all clipped in nice and neatly now. So in terms of these, I do put lube on the little holders just here and here, and I also lube the ends later on as well. But given the way that they are, you can actually get in really easily, just upside down, with a squeezy bottle, which is my new favourite lubing method. So super lube, dielectric grease, 205 grade 0, all of that works really well. You can just pop a small bead just inside, like so, just inside the other side as well. Make sure it's on both sides of the wire. Move the wire just backwards and forwards enough that it goes through the hole nice and evenly, and then just in terms of the front, you can just pop a small amount of lube just there, rubbing it in, and just there as well, and then that's all nice and neatly lubed for those particular space bars. Okay, the gun is now up to temperature, so apologies because this is my old gun. Which switch we're doing? This one here. Again, that's not worked terribly well. Let's give it a little bit more time to heat up. There we go. There we go, that's all done. Turn it off. We're just going to remove the switch. Well, we would if we could get some traction on it. Just going to try and pop it out this way. Come on. There we go. It's all nicely out of place. So as you can see, guys, this is open here. I'm hoping that's visible on camera. that's just open. I'm just going to try and close that part of the switch. There we go. Apologies for using my teeth. Sometimes it's the easiest way with Alps switches. Okay, all good. So we're going to pop that back in place. Pop the keycap back on. That's all looking good. We're going to give that a really quick solder. And then we'll pop the case back together and then we'll be ready for a sound test. Okay, is it me or is he missing a lot of frames? Not missed any frames at all. It gives me a little report at the bottom if I'm missing any frames. Shouldn't have missed any. Audio seems fairly low as well. Apologies guys if that's the case. When's you going to dye the caps? Well, I have 2 of these boards, my good friend. And because I have 2 of these boards, I do have some dyed keycaps for my second one, yes. So this one doesn't have dyed keycaps, but I have this Borsdorf here, and I also have this Borsdorf here. So I have 2. This one is going to get the dyed keycaps, yes. So I'm spoiling my secrets for the second build. Thank you very much, dude. Okay, so that's all put back together now. I'm comfortable that we can now re-put this back into the case, and everything should work just fine. There we go. Going to screw this. There we go. Into position. That's one corner. As I say, going diametrically opposed, counter-diagonally, all of those other things Talisman mentioned a few minutes ago, whatever you want to call it, just to make sure that we are spreading the stresses across the board evenly. In reality, it makes no difference whatsoever. It's just my personal preference from years of working on cars and engines and God knows what else. Okay. Lost that screw, we'll come back to that one in a second. Okay. That one seems like we've just lost the center point of the the grommet that's inside. So I'm just going to move that back into place and try again. There we go. Nicely in place. And then last one, I think that. Wait, I got another screw out for this. I did get another screw out for that, I'm sure. Oh, we have a couple more spares in here. There we go. Okay, so that's everything put back together from that perspective. I hope it's there. Typical. Now I'm just going to line the case up. Screw in the top corner again, as we did before, just hand tight, making sure it's nice and flush in this top corner. Make sure the cases are all held together, so just hand tight, not overly tight. Coming down to the bottom corner again, align it with your 2 fingers as you're screwing it together, making sure it's all nice and flush and even. Do tighten this one fully, and then once that one's done, you come back and tighten that one up, just another turn, and we're all good to go. And then the board's nice and even all round. before the stream is over, would you be so kind as to post the links to the associate page for the builds today for the benefit of those who are unfortunately late to the stream? Yeah, I'll try and put them onto the VOD as well. So I don't think there is a link for the Borsdorf. I think it was very much a private group run by Darth. So I don't think there is one. I can link for the CU80, which we looked at right at the very top of the stream. That's not a problem at all. George, in fact, has already done that. That's the page for the CU80. We also looked at the Katakana set, which is on the key.company. I think extras are available now. So if you are interested in that, you can pick that up. But there we go, guys. That is the board all put together. This is the Borsdorf with brown Alps, AEK ISO keycaps, locking caps lock key, just so you can see, which is quite nice for caps lock. That lovely curve that you can see follows the caps nicely, follows the profile of the caps. How good does that look? Really happy with that. Perfect fitting on the USB cutouts. Really, really nice. And as I say, what I will do is, as the finishing touch, I will be gluing this just here. So this is probably a better view of what the board will look like when it's actually finally completed, which I think you'll agree gives it a nice finishing touch. I've been waiting to build this for a long time. As I say, I'm excited to build the other one as well, because the other one will have, as Matt Elect was saying, dyed keycaps. They're over to one side. I'll grab one and show you guys actually. So these are AEK keycaps. These are exactly the same as these, and forgive me, the light will make them look a little bit brown, but they're not. They're a dark grey. So these are identical keycaps, but as you can see, they've still got the die sub legends on, much more legible IRL than what they appear on here. Another one just here. So these are all PBT keycaps that have been dyed. And then that's the 0 key, which is one of the stabilized keys. And those will be going on the other build, so you can see exactly what it's going to look like. Different shades of grey. So there we go. That'll go on the other build. And the other build will have a slightly different Apple logo as well. So in terms of the sound, let's have a listen. I've done a lot with brown Alps before, but I've never done anything with brown Alps in this particular board or case before, so this is my first time hearing it as well. Wow, that's really, really nice. Tiny bit of rattle there, I'll fix that later on. This sounds divine. I'm hoping that the sound translates as well to you guys as what it sounds here, because this sounds absolutely amazing. This sounds so good. Oh my god. Darth, I don't want to use any other board. Oh my god, Darth, I'm in love with this board. Thank you very much for producing this board, because this is absolutely stunning. What was that I just dropped? I don't know what just dropped off there, but something did. But this is amazing. I'm in love with this board, dude. Thank you very, very much. This sounds so nice. Whew. That is really, really good. That's possibly one of the best sounding boards I've got. Yes, this is coming to Leeds with me. I think this is going everywhere with me. This is definitely going to work with me tomorrow. I'm very impressed with this. My Apple logo dropped off. Oh, is that what it just... Oh, yes, it stuck to me. Yes, thank you very much for calling it out. There we go, yes, the Apple logo. I'm just going to get a little dab of glue and pop that on there and hold it in place. And as I say, for the other board, I have some metal ones coming. So someone did Phase Shifter, I think. Earlier on did mention they wanted one. So, yeah, reach out to me. You can have one for cost. So, yeah, guys, this is the Borsdorf. This is me falling in love with typing again. This is quite possibly the nicest board I've ever built sound-wise. It's just so nice. Oh, that sounds like heaven. That sounds like heaven. Something MX switches can't do is ever sound like an Alps board. So really, really impressed with that. Really, really happy with it. I'm going to be putting the E6.5 on the shelf, and I'll be using this board from now going forwards. Yeah, Alchemist KB, thank you very much. I was going to give that a shout out. So, in terms of things we talked about today, we did talk about a few things. I showed you the CU80 earlier on. So if you are in the market for a cheap board or you want to get someone else involved in the game, this is pretty good actually. Weighs a fraction of what that one weighs, but the Katakana PBT keycaps are really nice as well. So if those are interested, go take a look at the Key Company and Caps Unlocked for those too. Darth will be running the Borsdorf at some point. If you want one, I would advise buying one because it's amazing. It's quite possibly the nicest 66% board I've got. I need to start stocking up on these keycaps before anybody else buys them. And if you are straight classy, 8 sexual months, thank you very much, dude. 8 months, nice to meet you. No, that's really nice. If you are interested in a carbon fiber plate, so for something like this, Satanicist, Alchemist KB in chat and I do have a group buy going on for these now. You can provide your own plate file, or if we can source one for you, we will get it and we'll tweak it and amend it to whatever you like and whatever you need. Prices start at $30 and shipping is in about 8 weeks. So the group buy is open for another couple of weeks towards the end of the month, and then invoices will be going out and payments will be made. So yeah, that's that. I think that's everything I needed to cover. JO2 we also talked about. So the JO2 prototype will be here this week. I'll have it on stream next Sunday, even though I won't be building it next Sunday, just to show it off a little bit. The interest check will be going up the day after the board gets delivered, assuming everything is okay. As in, I'm hoping that nothing's wrong with it. So really interested to see what that comes out like. The other thing as well is Midnight Rainbow, GMK Midnight Rainbow. There is now an artisan coming for that. That's going to be a lovely Kipura, as you can tell I'm a fan, by Johan from Alpha Keycaps. So one of those will be made in the same colourway. Group Bite Day gets still to be announced for Midnight Rainbow, but there is a big update coming. Desk mats and other things as well. They're all in the works. Which keycaps do you want to see again? These ones or the Katakana ones? You can see these up close. Borsdorf, looking outstanding. Sleep Hockey is heading off. Good night, dude. Thank you very much for joining. The Katakana ones, yeah, here you go. So these are really, really impressive. For die sub and reverse die sub, these are really, really, really nice. I'm really impressed with those keycaps, and for the price and the compatibility you get, very, very impressive. Gouty did the soldering on CU80. Okay, so wow, the soldering was done by Gouty on this particular board. So well done, man. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, it's an impressive board for the price. But that's it for the stream. I'm going to go and fall in love with this board and never take it off my desk. And yeah, there we go. The Katakana ones for sale. Yeah, you can get them on the key.company. Jason, who runs the store, has those in stock right now, or he did when I last checked. But I think that's it. Unless there's any final questions, we'll be finishing up the stream just there. Odin, thank you very much for watching, dude. Beep boop bep. Heart to you too. If I can do a heart shape. I wish I'd never tried Alps. Yeah, I've just fallen in love with these brown Alps all over again. And yeah, I was tempted to give away my other Borsdorf at some point once I put the Salmon Alps in it, but I'm going to be hard pushed to do that, guys. I'm completely honest. Yeah, so thanks very much, guys. I'm going to close down the stream there. I hope you'll all tune in to the show on Thursday, and I hope you'll all tune in next week to see me build my Space 65 on stream, and see me unveiling the JO2 prototype as well. So if you're interested in that, please do come and join my Discord. The link is there as well. Please join the Top Clack Discord as well if you're not already a member. That's just below the stream. I can't use that board yet. I have to use this one. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and cheers again, Darth, for building an amazing board.